This is a clip from an earlier live stream. I know you're going to like it, so the link to the full video is down below. Check it out. I'll see you over there.
That's enough soul for today. I was going to get some chicken, and I was also going to get some watermelon. By the way, this is really hard. Props to Black women who can actually pull this off. By the way, half the struggles that Black women think they face, it's of their own doing. Running around in nails like this, running around in earrings like this, like you people fight every day. You people fight every day. Could you choose any outfit and get up that's like less conducive to fighting?
So you're an unashamed racist.
Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. We need to have a conversation. We need to have a talk. Earlier, about last week, I did a video with Brett Cooper, and she was talking about basically Matt Walsh's unity at any cost, unity on the right, and even started the narrative like it doesn't matter. We can let bygones be bygones, but we got to be unified. Blah 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 blah. I think that was a crazy take. I'm proposing this video to the Matt Walsh, Brett Cooper side of the right, of the conservative discussion. I want to know, do we unify with these people? Is this a person that you say, oh, we'll just let bygones be bygones? Well, we have to unify because you share my political ideology. Or do you say, yeah, that's a little bit too much? And what's your reason? I don't believe this person should at all be considered on the right whatsoever. I made that very clear about this young lady. But I really want to propose this to the Brett Coopers, to the Matt Walshes, to the unity at any cost type of people. And tell me, where do you find unity with this person? So let me bring the video in, and I think I'm gonna bring in Matt Walsh's commentary. You know, I think I'm gonna start with Matt Walsh. I'm gonna start with Matt only because I think it will add a little bit of context to this. So let me bring Matt Walsh in, where he was talking about unity at any cost.
Now, I can tell you where there should be unity. There should be unity on the right among conservatives. And this is a message that I've preached a few times in the last few days on X, that as conservatives, we need to put the petty squabbles and the infighting and all that crap to the side. We can get back to that later.
So what would be a petty squabble that, you know, for Matt? And we're gonna play the Lily Gaddis video in a second. But what's a petty squabble? What is a petty squabble that would, quote unquote, be a petty squabble on the right that we need to put that aside and we need to unify with Lily Gaddis? We're going to use this young lady as the avatar, but there's others as well that we could just replace her name and put somebody else's name. We'll use Lily for the discussion today, though.
And I'm sure we will. You know, we can resume our family feuds sometime down the line. But for now, we don't have time for it. We can't bother with it. We're dealing with a real existential threat. We're dealing with enemies of civilization. So we got to put all that stuff to the side. That's where there should be unity.
So, and I'm not trying to put words in Matt's mouth. I really have questions for Matt's ideology. Do we put every ideology argument aside so Matt, you would unify with a Lily Gaddis? I just want to make sure I have it right. If maybe I need to play but we're going to play the clip in a second. So I just want to make sure Matt is saying we should unify at any cost. Just want to make sure we say that.
Because one thing I know for sure is that if I were to walk outside of this building right now and get shot and killed, there are a lot of people on the right, a lot of conservatives who don't like me, who've been very critical of me over the years. What I know for sure, is that not a single one of them would be celebrating if I were to die 20 minutes from now. Not a single one. No, they would mourn my loss, and they would mourn it sincerely. And yet I also have no doubt that on the left, it would be unanimous that this was a good turn of events. It will be unanimous.
I hope you all picked up the rule, the litmus test that he is putting out here. He's putting out here the idea that the only thing that's bad is that one side would mourn and one side would lament his untimely demise. Not one side holds strong to truth, or one side represents complete and utter wickedness on wholesale display. One side represents what God actually teaches. The other side abominates and give the middle finger to God. Nothing like that. It's whether or not one side would lament if, in fact, something passed to him, and then the other side would celebrate. That's the standard.
Cause for celebration. I know that for sure. They would spit on my grave. They would laugh at my grieving wife and my 6 children who now have to grow up without a father. They would feel no sadness for them at all. None. Pretty easy for me to find the friend-enemy distinction here. Okay, pretty easy, and that's what we're up against. Which is why we just need to put it all to the side. I'm extending the olive branch to anyone on the right who I've had any problem with. Not saying it's permanent. Like I said, down the line might come a time to us get back to some of those arguments, but for now, I'm just not interested in it.
Okay, I'm just going to stop right there. I have no clue. How does this play out in 4K? How does this play out in real time? How does this play out in the standard? Again, I don't want anything to happen to Matt Walsh. I don't want anything to happen to Lily Gaddis. I want them to be saved. I want them to turn from their wicked, evil ways. I want their heart of stone to be turned into one of flesh. The God that they despise to be the God that they love. I do want the gospel to be preached to them. I don't want anything bad to happen to them. I won't unify with Lily Gaddis. And you know what? Maybe, you know what it is? I'm sorry. That's what the problem is. You don't know why I would say, how dare I would I say that I would not unify with Lily Gaddis? You know what? Maybe that's the problem. Let me introduce you to Lily Gaddis.
All right, that's enough soul for today. I was going to get some chicken, and I was also going to get some watermelon, but I didn't have much time. Last minute, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this because this would be really fun. And we haven't done a stream in a while, so I was going to go buy KFC, but by the time I remembered to do that, I was already in blackface, and I figured it probably wasn't the smartest idea to go out in public looking like this. Plus, I'm already sweating, and it's kind of coming off. By the way, this is really hard. Props to Black women who can actually pull this off, because it's really difficult keeping this, and I still don't have it completely on. Cost me $50. The guy at Walmart. I went to Walmart to get it, and people were looking at me very strangely because I was in the aisle, and I had this. I was like, where is the black makeup? By the way, discrimination. There is not enough black makeup. Also, I got my nails. I got my nails did. Too. And I wanted a wig. I wanted a weave, but I couldn't find one. I went to Dollar General, which was full of blacks, by the way. I was the only white person there. I went to Family Dollar, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and fucking Walmart, and there was not a single wig anywhere. So that sucked. I'm also burning up. I was gonna do my hands, but it was getting everywhere. I've already got black face all over the place. So I didn't want to ruin my computer for the sake of the bit. But yeah, we're in festive gear. We've got our pumpkin, no KFC, and no watermelon today, and no sweet tea as well. Actually, I do have some tea. I can go get some. By the way, half the struggles that Black women think they face, it's of their own doing. Running around in nails like this, running around in earrings like this, you people fight every day. Could you choose any outfit and get up that's less conducive to fighting? Seriously.
So I think we've let enough tease out. I'll finish it out. I just want to ask the Matt Walsh crowd. I just want to ask the unity at any cost crowd. How do you unify with that? What do you see as your common ground with this young lady? I'd like to know. What am I supposed to see as common ground with this young lady? I mean, in all seriousness, no. This is completely and utterly ridiculous. But when we say stuff, when Matt says stuff like, oh, we must unify, well, put aside petty squabbles. What is a petty squabble that I would have with Lily Gaddis? I'll wait. What's a petty squabble? Yeah, that's my point. This is the stuff that actually the right should be abominating. conservatives and Republicans and right-leaning people must separate themselves from this. If you embrace this, then prepare yourself for a defeat of epic proportions. That's insane. I'm gonna finish it up because maybe I don't think, maybe like Jason, it's not really that bad. I don't feel good what all the problem is, all the issue is. So let's let Lily finish it up. This is what Matt wants us to unify behind.
They wear wigs that can be pulled out. They put braids in their hair that could rip the rest of their hair out. And then they complain about having alopecia. No, it's self-induced alopecia. That's like a cutter. That's like one of those losers who cut themselves. That's like them having a scar and being like, I can't believe I have scars. Like, what? Black women, you tear your hair out by the roots. You put every sort of chemical on your hair to straighten it out, despite being so proud of being black. And then you wonder why you have alopecia. And then you guys fight all the time. And yet you wear massive hoop earrings. You wear weaves in your hair. You wear fake eyelashes. You wear fake nails. All of these things are not conducive to fighting, okay? So let me give you advice. Let me turn this racist stream around into something positive. Okay, black women, listen up. Listen up. A black woman is speaking. When you are fighting, when you are going to bat, okay? Before you wake up in the morning, get out of bed and you have to think like a fighter. You have to put yourself in the mindset of not, oh, it's just easy breezy and I might pick up a fight or a felony later on. No, that is the wrong mindset to have. The correct mindset to have is that you wake up every day knowing that every day is a fight. Every day is a potential crash out. Every day is a potential chance to chimp out. With that in mind, let me adjust my cap for the billionth time. With that in mind, you must wake up with that mindset, okay? Like white girls have to manifest things, you have to manifest too. You have to manifest yourself into the ultimate super warrior, okay? You have to turn yourself into the ultimate warrior princess of Wakanda and go outside with that mindset in mind and know this. Know this to be the case. You will fight. You will dominate. You will win. Hail the black woman. Hail her.
Why would you want to support a white racist?
Because I want to support free speech, and you cannot have free speech in a country.
No, that's fine. You can support free speech, but you also have to be accountable for what you say. Would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
Mm-hmm. I do, quite frequently.
You use the N-word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, well, if you use the N-word repeatedly, you are a racist, then, are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding, helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, which, by the way, Shiloh Hendricks is being attacked on all fronts. They're trying to bring legal charges against her. They're trying to get her children taken away. So you were saying Carmelo Anthony, it doesn't matter. That's a different.
Sorry, but just to be
thing.
clear, you just said to me you use the N-word regularly. In what context? Right. Do you use it with black people?
Yes, if it's appropriate.
When would it be appropriate to use the N-word? When would it be appropriate?
Anytime I feel like it.
So you're an unashamed racist.
Correct.
Look at that woman on the left. On the right of her.
Do you understand that makes you a despicable human being?
I guess so. I don't really care. I mean, why are we not talking about Shiloh Hendricks? Why are we talking about?
Well, actually, I think you've moved it on in this debate very quickly to your own racism, which explains why you've supported her in public and why you've got all these views. You see no problem with a woman shrieking the N-word repeatedly because you yourself are a despicable racist, and you've just proudly admitted that with a smug grin on your face, which is pretty horrifying, actually, for most people to have to watch. And shame on you. You're entitled to do it, and I'm entitled to call you despicable.
So maybe you hadn't seen this young woman before. I was going to, again, do a reaction to her Halloween video, which is the one that we just saw. But I thought about how Matt Walsh and Brett Cooper really went in about, unity at every cost. We got to unify the right, blah, 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 blah. And earlier this week, I did a video about the coming conservative civil war. There's not a conservative civil war. There's going to be a culling of the herd. There's going to be a separating of wheat and tares. And Matt Walsh, Brett Cooper, and them, they would rather hold on to the tares no matter what, because they just want a lot of people on their side. But please understand, if you go back and watch this video, pick the one with Pierce Morgan or fill in the blank. People want to know that the right isn't going to put up with this type of shenanigans. Not, hey, let's put it aside because, hey, they have the right politics or they vote in the right direction. I'm sorry, that's not the way that you win elections. That you lose the moral high ground, the moral positioning that you want to have or you think you have. You lose that when you embrace somebody like Lily Gaddis. And I would love to know if Matt Walsh is okay with this woman's behavior, because he just said we have to put aside petty squabbles. That he called it family fights. That's not family. What family are you a part of? I'd like to know, Matt. What is your family that Lily Gaddis is just a family fight? Brett, you want to comment on that? And then I'll broaden it out even more. Because people like this don't call out their friends, call out their family, call out their compatriots. That's how you end up getting what we see with Candace. Somebody that people are afraid to call out. People are afraid to adjust and correct. And she's just wilding out in these streets and people treating her like she's a boogeyman. Don't say her name. Say her name in soft tones. What the heck is wrong with you? And no, this is completely, and both sides do have extremes. And I don't think anybody is saying that. What we're saying is you see what happened when the left embraced its extremes. The right would be exactly like that. If we embrace our extremes, conservatism, if you embrace our extremes, instead of saying, no, y'all got to go play somewhere else with that foolishness. Go on somewhere else with that. If you embrace it, then we'll look exactly like the left. Just with MAGA hats on, or maybe not blue hair. Maybe that'd be about the difference, but not much. We need to have an honest conversation about what values does the right have. And let me just say this, and I said this in my video about the coming conservative civil war. The problem is that you can be conservative and not have any morals. You can be against deletion of babies, but you can be a serial cheater. Yeah. You could be for nuclear family, but you could be out tricking it off every day. You don't have to be moral to be a conservative. But if you're a Christian, you are going to be conservative. The conservative values are just really, in my opinion, are just an outcropping of what really is internally transformed. So I can fake the funk about, again, about family, but I could be over a while and out. But if I'm changed inwardly, if my heart has been changed from the inside, my conservative values are going to be rooted in that change that comes from the gospel. So therefore, when you look at a Lily Gaddis, who, by the way, professes to be a Christian, so then we as Christians would have to say something about that. Well, you don't see us saying, unity at any cost within Christianity. Why do they say it in conservatism? No, we don't need unity at any cost. We have to be we have to stand on a moral foundation. Lily Gaddis is bankrupt. I dare say even Matt Walsh, unless he calls it out completely, you're bankrupt, my guy. You're lacking the foundation to give your conservatism any form of structure and stability, because it has to be rooted in Christ. If it's just rooted in today, it makes sense for little boys to never be little girls and little girls to never be little boys. And that's the only thing, is just the sign of the times and the culture. I guarantee you in 10 years that'll change. That'll change. So when the smoke clears, I do think that we must call this out in 4K with our whole chest and say, Matt is wrong. Or challenge Matt to say, hey, Matt, can you explain where unity is with a Lily Gaddis? Where's the unity with her? Let me know what y'all think about it. I really do appreciate it. The right, because we always see this when somebody says freedom of speech, right? But that doesn't mean you can say everything, or you have freedom of speech, but you don't have freedom from the consequences, whatever those little scenarios work out, right? I agree with those 1,000%. The internal heart change that happens because Christ has transformed my heart through the gospel makes freedom of speech work, because I won't say something to somebody that would deliberately be offensive to them. And I've said this before, I think black people should stop playing around with the N-word, period. If nobody can say it, then nobody can say it. Like, just stop it. It is just a word. We don't have to behave like we don't have to behave like we behave about the word. On the same note, however, I don't think people should. First of all, black people shouldn't use the N-word, period, if we don't want other people to use it. End of day. That's it. Make the N-word an abomination again. There you go. Unheard of again. But again, the internal heart situation hasn't changed. Lily Gaddis could not convince me, oh yeah, I'm a Christian. My heart has been changed by the gospel. Jesus Christ has saved me, but I'm going to call you the N-word, or I'm going to be offensive to black women. Because I have 2 of them in my house. I have 3 total, and none of them act like what she did. I know a whole host of black women, and none of them respond or act like that. Sure, there are some, and we talk about them too. But then why would you behave and treat everybody like that then, Lily? See, that's the silliness. Because she herself is not born again. That's it. There's no other way around it. That's the only way to say it. And the same thing with Nick Fuentes or fill in the blank, some of these others. Candace Owens, they're not born again. They're not Christian. And therein is the problem. The biggest issue isn't that they say ridiculous and offensive things. The biggest thing is that they're enemies of God. That's the big issue. What we saw with Lily Gaddis is just the outcropping of the fact that her heart is not transformed by the gospel. That's it. That's the problem. The woman is not a Christian. The woman's heart has not been changed. So she's just behaving like a non-believer, like a sinner. Because guess what sinners do? They sin. I know people are not going to be happy. It's okay. It's okay. It's perfectly okay that you're wrong about the situation. It's perfectly fine. And you can come bring yourself right on up here to the front of the church. Matt Walsh single-handedly shut down a transgender surgery program in Nashville while Christian leaders stayed silent. But we are going to gatekeep on Walsh. Okay. Is that where you want to land? But if you want to go ahead and say that we're gatekeeping Matt Walsh, can you please explain Lily Gaddis then to me? I'll wait. And if you need to, I got a little bit of time. If you need to, I can drop a link. You can come on and explain it to me. I'm not saying that Matt Walsh is wrong. I'm saying that the things that Matt Walsh, unity at every cost, is not a thing. That's what I'm saying. And by the way, you know what? You don't have to be a Christian to be against transgenderism. It's called common sense. It's called common grace. It's probably called being older than 3 years old. I mean, once you figured out where to go to the restroom and how to use the restroom, it probably was right around then that you realized that you were a boy that stood up or you were a girl that sat down to go to the restroom. It's really that simple. So I don't think just because Matt Walsh called out transgenderism in his town of Nashville, okay, God used him to do that. You don't get it. Following that logic, then you have to support every wicked president that's ever done anything good. Just follow that same logic. You wouldn't do that. Just stop. You're better than that. And again, I don't think Matt Walsh has thought that all the way out. And maybe he didn't see what happened on. Maybe he didn't see Lily Gaddis's wildness yesterday. But she's been like this, so that's the other thing. Look, that's not a one-off. Lily, her whole shtick is being this offensive, being this out of pocket. That's her whole thing. I don't know. Thank you so much, 2005. She says, "What is it? This is shameful." She does out loud and proud. What is wrong with this woman? Oh no, she gets positive feedback from people, and the whole when black fatigue was really kind of taking root earlier this spring. I talked about Lily and black fatigue, and there's a lot of things that I got black fatigue. I totally understand it. As a black man, I get black fatigue. I ain't gonna lie. Who's a bigger threat to my kids? The left or crazies on the right? I disagree with. The left is a simple, not hard to understand. Really? Let me ask you a question. Would you be okay if Lily Gaddis was your child's teacher? She's on the right. She's against transgenderism. She's against the alphabet mafia. Would you want her to be your child's teacher? How about your child's Sunday school teacher? Maybe your child's youth group leader, taking them on trips and stuff like that? Would you be okay with that? Doug, you're okay with that because they're against transgenderism and that kind of abuse, but you're okay. So you're okay with her doing that. Let me make sure y'all have that. Tap in when you answer. Let me make sure I find out where Doug is. I need Doug to tell me that he's okay with that or that he's not okay with that. No, she doesn't want to kill my kids. Why is this hard? Okay, so I just want to ask again. I don't think he's actually listening to the question. And if I need to, then Doug, I do feel like in November, we might just start putting people in timeout because they're not listening. Come on up here to the front of the church. I had a question for you. Would you be okay with Lily Gaddis being your child's teacher, Sunday school teacher, youth group leader, or the such? That's what my question is. I'm not really certain what you're missing and not getting, instructor. Then Doug, hold on. Wait. Stop, Doug.
Flag on each and every one of y'all.
Doug, why would you not be okay with Lily Gaddis being your child's teacher? Please explain this to me. Please, I don't understand. I'm lacking the understanding and the knowledge and the ability to comprehend. Why is it that you're not okay with Lily Gaddis being your child's Sunday school teacher or youth group leader? Help me understand, because she's against transgenderism. Remember, she's unified at every cause. Come on now. The left is dangerous to my kids and crazies on the right are not. Wait, then why in the devil are you okay? So you're okay with her being your Sunday school teacher? Am I understanding that correctly, Doug? You're okay with her being your classroom teacher? Am I understanding that correctly? And then if not, why not? I think what it is, Doug, you don't want to be honest, and you know where I'm going with this. You know exactly where I'm going to get you to. You are gatekeeping just as much as you're saying that we are. Why don't you do this for me, Doug? Shoot me an email, dearwokec@gmail.com. Then we can work with you, and we can have you come on the show and you can explain it to me. Yeah, I don't think you're being honest, Doug. I think you're being a little bit duplicitous. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.